guys, so today I'm going to be doing the I Dare You book tag. I originally saw this on Pierre Ford's channel, and I forgot who she was tagged by, but I wasn't tagged, it just seemed like fun, so we're gonna do it. Question number 1, which book has been on your shelf the longest? I don't know. I guess this? Or one of these. It's one of these 4 books. Okay, this one's 2006. 2009. So Sea of Monsters has been on my shelf the longest. The second question is, what is your current read, your last read, and the book you'll read next? So my current read, I guess that you could say, I haven't started it yet, but it's The Rose Society by Marie Lu. I just finished Young Elites like 10 minutes ago, so that was my last read, I guess, and then after that I'll be reading The Midnight Star, because I like going in order and binge reading everything. The next question is, what book did everybody else like but you didn't really like? I don't want to say that I hated it. The question is which one you hated, but I don't hate books because someone out there enjoys them, so like that enough makes me like it. Whatever. Except for The Reader. Anyways, I guess the book that I did not like very much is nearly all of John Green's books, but primarily The Fault in Our Stars. I don't know what it was. I just didn't get sad. And is that a reason to not like a book? What book do you keep telling yourself you're gonna read but you probably won't? Harry Potter. I'm kidding. I think. Yeah, I'm kidding. I'll most likely read Harry Potter at some point. I don't think that there's really a book that I'm not going to read ever. I just like reading too much, and like maybe I won't get to it, but it's not going to be intentional. It's not something that I'm like thinking, oh, I'm never going to get to this, even though I'm telling myself I will. If I don't get to it, it's just not going to happen, not because I was telling myself I wouldn't. What book are you saving for retirement? And I think that this question is indicating like what series are you not going to read before retirement? And this is complicated because I don't want to like think that far in the future because that's just an anxious feeling, but also because I would love to read Game of Thrones, but I don't think they're going to be ready until I'm retired. And by that point, he's probably going to be dead. So like, will Game of Thrones ever be a finished series that I can sit down and enjoy? I don't know, because I want to read them so bad. Like, I want to get that full extreme fantasy element and like how complex they are and complicated, but I don't want to read them until they're at least like some promise of them being finished, because the series is ending, and I don't think that the series has completely followed the books, but that's one of the only things that I've watched without reading the books because it's happening and the books are not. Last page, do you read it first or wait until the end? I wait until the end. How can you read it first? It could have some major spoiler, and I am just majorly against major spoilers. Or any spoilers, really. Like, you could tell me that the person's wearing a red shirt in chapter 3, and I'd be like, oh my goodness, why would you tell me that? Acknowledgement. A waste of paper and ink or interesting aside? I don't think it's a waste of paper and ink, because even if I don't personally read them very often, every now and then, but even if, like, I don't do it, people do. And it's a very important place, I feel like, for the authors to thank everyone that helped them through the journey, and so the people that were involved in the helping probably really enjoy the acknowledgement, so I don't think it's a waste. Which book character would you like to switch places with? Ooh. All of my favorite characters are in really dire situations, but like at least I would be living, you know? Anybody from the Foxhole Court I feel like would be really fun, or I would love to be Hannah and Jemina, Buddy in Six of Crows, or Lila Bard from Darker Shade of Magic. Ooh, Tessa Gray. I love Tessa Gray. I would love to be. 1, because she's fearless, and 2, because of Will Herondale. Do you have a book that reminds you of something specific in your lifetime? We lost power in our street when I was like 11 or 12, and so when I got home from school, my dad and I just read the Twilight series from like, I don't know, like 5 hours straight. I think he was on Breaking Dawn and I was on Eclipse, and that was really cool, and then it got dark outside and we took flashlights, and yeah, that's probably my most like primary memory of reading. Name a book that you acquired in an interesting way. I don't think I've gotten any in interesting ways. Oh, I have 2 copies of It's Kind of a Funny Story because I read it and really liked it, and then my friend didn't know that I had read it, so she got me one, so I have 2 copies of that. And I don't even care because it's a great book, and the fact that like she already got me a book that I had enjoyed and she didn't even know, like that's a real friendship right there. So I guess it's like, it's a gift, but it was interesting that I already had it. Have you ever given a book away for a special reason to a special person? No? But if someone asked for a book and I had multiple copies, I'd probably give it to them. Or just buy another one and they give it to them and be like, no, it's fine, I had 2 copies, don't even worry about it, because I have a constant need to please people. Which book has been with you the most places? And for this one, I probably have to go with Six of Crows, because after I read it, I was so connected to it, and I was just waiting for Crooked Kingdom to come out, and so I just brought it with me everywhere. It sat on my bedside table when I was sleeping at night. I brought it with me to work, and I was like, I can't leave it in my car because then like the hardcover will bend in the heat, and so I brought it into work every day, and I would like keep it in my backpack when I went to school, and it was just a comforting thing, and so I just brought it everywhere with me. Any required reading that you read in school that wasn't so bad 2 years later? No, not like the 2 years things. I've had things that I read when I was there and I didn't really hate. I didn't really hate The Great Gatsby very much. I liked The Crucible, I just didn't like the writing style of it, but the story was like, I think I saw someone describe it as like a mid-century soap opera, and that's precisely what it is, so that was very entertaining. I hated Catcher in the Rye. And I didn't like, oh, maybe this is one. I didn't really like The Giver when I was in 7th grade and had to read it, but I don't hate it now, but the fact that there's other 3 books in the series, that makes me really nervous because I feel like, how are we supposed to analyze what happens in English classes if they tell you what happens? So The Giver, I don't really love The Giver, but it's there. I don't hate it as much as like Anthem. I really didn't like Anthem. I also really liked Hamlet. Romeo and Juliet was like only good because of Mercutio, but I didn't hate Hamlet because he was just like this spoiled rich kid going insane. So I thought that was fun. Used or brand new? I don't mind used. Obviously, I have a ton of books from Half Price Bookstore or Book Depository or Book Outlet, and I use the library constantly. But if I can own a book brand new from like Amazon, it means a lot to me. But I also like the story of like books have been places and other people have read the exact same book that you're reading, so I think that's really cool. So I'm just constantly divided between the two because I'm as indecisive as one can be. Number 15, have you ever read a Dan Brown book? I forgot that this was one of the questions. I have. I read Inferno. And it actually kind of makes me upset because I didn't realize that it was a sequel or one of the sequels to the Da Vinci Code, and I only read it so I could see Inferno with Tom Hanks, and the movie was too long. I love Tom Hanks, but the movie was just too long. They stuck to the book relatively well, though, considering how most movie adaptations of books go, but the book was too long and the movie was too long, but Tom Hanks was great in both of them, even though he wasn't even in the book. Have you ever seen a movie that you liked more than the book? I really think that the Maximum Ride movie was better than the book. They captured the characters so well, and they hit the plots exactly, and everybody looked exactly how I pictured them, and that was a joke, but so was the movie. Have you ever read a book that's made you hungry, cookbooks included? I guess so? I don't understand how a cookbook cannot make you hungry. And then there's this one extended extra story and some copy of Queen of Shadows or Empire of Storms, I'm not sure which one, and the main character eats a chocolate cake, and I don't even like chocolate cake, but I was reading it, and I was thinking, wow, a chocolate cake sounds freaking great right now. I didn't get a chocolate cake, but it sounded good at the time. Who is a person's book advice that you will always take? In person, I don't think there's very many people that I'll like constantly read any book that they tell me to read, but on BookTube I would read any book that Pierre Ford recommended or Reagan from Peruse Project, because we have similar writing, or we have similar reading styles in the sense of like we like more complex books, but we also like to just like have fun every now and then, and they both also really love fantasy. And then Reagan also likes to read history books, so I think that we have that in common, so yeah, I'd probably read any book that either one of them recommended. Is there a book outside of your normal comfort zone, like genre, for example, that you ended up loving? Oh, I guess The Foxhole Court. So fantasy is my #1 genre, and The Foxhole Court is more like, I don't want to say realistic fiction, even though I guess it is, but that's definitely not set in a fantasy world. It's just set in like our normal world, but oh man, I love that book with every ounce of my being. Oh, that's the last one. Okay. Well, that's the last question. I guess that's the end of the video. If you want to do this video or blog or tag, if you want to do the book tag, go ahead, do it, have fun. If you don't want to, that's cool too. But I hope you enjoyed the video for today. I hope you have a wonderful day or night or whatever time it is, wherever you are, and thank you for watching. The next question is, what book